people are not ready to accept that language will take 3, 4, 5 years. They are not ready to accept it. But when Sandeep Patil is saying that it will take 3, 4, 5 years, and again I say one more, it's a lifetime process. People don't like that. This is the reason why our channel has less number of subscribers. And people want to learn English in Hindi, which is not possible. Translation doesn't work. You may be able to say some few sentences, but in the long term, your natural language will not develop. You will be able to manage few sentences. Hello, how are you? I'm good. And all those simple sentences. But to master the language, it's not going to help you.
Why a language take a long time for average people? Please, sir, please. I need a good answer from you.
See here. Answer is very simple. Answer is because it's a language. It's a language. Now understand what is a language. And we learn subjects also. There is a difference between subject and a language. When you learn a subject, everyone, those who are watching me on YouTube, watch and listen carefully. When you're learning a subject, you are not absorbing the subject, or you are not speaking that subject. Your intention is not to speak that subject. Your intention is to study the subject, some formulas, some rules. Let us take maths, for example. You study maths and the formula, the syllabus is fixed.
Yes.
First theory is there, then problems are there, then practice problems are there. You have 10 chapters, for example, in a maths book. Solve that, study that, go in the exam, and only remember the formula by heart, only the formula, some 10, 15, 20, 40, 50 formulas. Go and write down the formula, solve the examples, give the exam, come back and forget that. Whatever you have studied before, you have to forget all that. Now it's not required. I think many of you remember that. The moment you complete your exams, you forget 90%.
Yes.
And within 3-4 days, all the remaining 10% is also gone. So that is with subject. Language is not like this. Let us look at my language, which I'm speaking. Am I speaking by-hearted language? No. It's not a by-hearted language. It's a language which is absorbed by my brain. And there is a great video I made, how a language develops. We will give the link in this video. In that video, I explained that language develops when there are strong neural connections between two neurons. Then I explained upon the myelin sheath, how it works. What are axons, I told. We are not required to go in detail, but understand, answer is simple. Language development is like changing your brain chemistry. Subject development is not like that. Subject you study and forget. We don't speak in maths. We study maths. No one speaks. Maths is not a language. Maths is a subject. Now, same rule you apply to English. Now, what happens? You study English and think that by studying English like a subject, I can speak like a language.
Yes.
By studying English like a subject, like you studied maths, now I can speak like a language, and there the problem starts. Because first of all, there are various steps in developing a language. Very many steps are there. Step number 1 can be first understand the language. Understand the language. Understand means what? Understand what you are listening. Now, understand means what? Understand means vocabulary is there. You should be able to understand the vocabulary. You should be able to understand. If you are born in a natural surrounding, you don't need to do anything. All that comes naturally to you. But try and understand, you are artificially developing a language. Complete artificiality. It's not natural. Naturally, our brain is wired for that. When a small kid is there are many of our students are there, they are living abroad. And their kids are so fluent in English. The reason is naturally our brain is wired to absorb the language very easily. But when it comes to adults, struggle is there. 2 days before, I have posted one nice quote, which I want to again say here, that skill development is suffering. You have to suffer. You have to struggle. And why? Because we are developing artificially. It is not coming naturally to us. So what people think, now the problem is this. People are not ready to accept that language will take 3, 4, 5 years. They are not ready to accept it. They want something which is music to their ears. 2 months, now they feel very good. But when Sandeep Patil is saying that it will take 3, 4, 5 years, and again I say one more, it's a lifetime process. People don't like that. This is the reason why our channel has less number of subscribers.
Yes, maybe.
And people want to learn English in Hindi, which is not possible. Translation doesn't work. You may be able to say some few sentences, but in the long term, your natural language will not develop. You will be able to manage few sentences. Hello, how are you? I'm good. And all those simple sentences. But to master the language, it's not going to help you. That's the reason why my channel is in English. And it's simple English. I don't use any jargon.
Yes.
Language goes through steps. First, understanding is very important. Then speaking. And while speaking, you will make hell of mistakes. Then again, reading is there. Reading will help you to develop your vocabulary. Reading will help you to develop your sentence formation. Then the confidence factor is there. Then the surrounding. Reading goes through a lot of steps. Slowly. It's a slow process. But somewhere we want that, I don't want to go through these steps. And people wrongly believe that there is only one step to English. And that is grammar. What they believe? Oh, the best and the quick and the surest way of developing English language fluency is grammar. And problem starts from there. Grammar teachers will not like this statement. Many grammar teachers have abused me in the comments. It's okay. Whatever I say has a proof. Go and see. Many students have joined my institute after struggling with grammar, studying grammar. Grammar is not a language. You may be the one, yes. So I don't want to get into the debate with the grammar teachers. But the fact of the matter is, I also tried with grammar, with myself. It did not work in the past. Now I have changed. So language, if you talk about your mother tongue has taken 3 to 4 years to develop, whichever your mother tongue is. But we don't want that for English. We want it to be instantly, quickly, because our promotions are pending, our interview is there, because it's commercial language and we want it quickly. So to develop a language, in short, I will not go into the brain details because many people even today don't know how language exactly develops, but it develops in the Broca's area and Wernicke's area. And one of the important factors in developing a good language is your habits. If you are not in the surrounding, then at least you can create some habits. So that habits will create the surrounding around you and you will be able to understand. Language develops by speaking. The more you speak, the better your language. But it does not mean that you should speak wrong. To correct your sentence pattern, other habits are required. So when you speak and when your habits are properly supported with good habits, when your speaking is properly surrounded with good habits, then the language develops. It's a slow process. You will be nervous. You will make mistakes. You won't be able to frame proper sentences. And what they are doing, what people are doing is they're trying to forcibly make correct sentences.
Okay.
By writing the sentences. They think that by writing the sentences and by rote learning, I can by heart the sentence and I can speak the language. But understand, while speaking, you don't have any reference. When I'm speaking right now, I don't have any notes which I'm referring and speaking. Speaking is so spontaneous. We don't have any reference. So that method will not work. by cramming and by hearting the sentences. Language development is intrinsic process, intrinsic, internal it is. We can't by heart like any subject. And it is going to take some time because, and it's a simple, a baby will take 9 months to grow.
Okay.
You can't say that, oh, if I have 9 women, can I get a baby in 1 month?
Exact
No,
example.
it will
No.
not work. But we are so desperate to get a baby. I'm talking about English baby. We are so desperate about baby that we want to employ 9 women to deliver 1 baby. It's a natural process of birth. Birth and language are similar. Language is also a natural process. Allow it to develop. Allow it to mushroom. Allow it to blossom. Allow it to grow. Give the conducive surrounding. It will blossom. It will develop. But if you interfere in that, and if you try to cut corners and jump the steps, instead of step number 1, you go to step number 4 directly, you have bypassed step number 2 and step number 3, problems will start. No matter how desperately you try, it's not going to work.